Amanda O'Connor in lane 4.
Hey, Autumn Athletes, Larry Sorensen here, and today I'm going to talk with Amanda O'Connor and find out what makes her an Autumn Athlete that's not done yet. Before we get started, please remember, if you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, and ding that bell for notifications. Okay, let's get this thing started. Amanda, thanks so much for joining us today. Why don't you kick us off with an introduction of yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for watching. My name is Amanda O'Connor. I'm 39 years old, from Kenosha, Wisconsin, a transplant to Minnesota. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota now, married. I have an amazing husband and 3 great, beautiful children, and currently work full-time for the largest medical device company in the world, I should say. And I support all of our Food and Drug Administration audits.
All right, well, great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Let's take a little step back first before we talk about what you're doing now and find out a little bit about your athletic history. Any other sports that you've played? Just how did it get started and lead you to where you're at right now?
So originally, I was the biggest tomboy you would ever meet. I was in wrestling. I was on an all-boys little league team. I did all the things and typically went after sports that women did not dominate. Moving into middle school, I started just a love for track and field. Started with jumps and sprints, was the fastest in my city, and then went to high school and really focused. I was a 3-sport athlete every year. So I did cross country in the fall, I did gymnastics in the winter, and then followed up with track in the spring. I've done all the things.
So did you do anything else after high school or college years as an adult before you got into master's track and field?
I did. So after college, I did quit track and field in college. And then after college, I started doing bodybuilding, had my pro card in bikini bodybuilding. And then when I had my second daughter, I just thought, that sport's not for me. It's not conducive for my lifestyle. And then started again running and realized that I really missed what drove me and was part of my passion growing up, which was track.
So did you have any specific inspirations along the way with your athletics?
My dad was really athletic. He was fast. I mean, at 40, he passed away when he was 44 years old and I was 21. But even until the day he died, he was extraordinarily athletic, like extremely buff, was really proud of his body look, and could outrun anyone. So I definitely know I received some of that motivation and probably some of that genetic ability from him.
Why don't you tell us about any kind of setbacks that you had and maybe how you've overcome them and how you're feeling today?
Thanks. Well, appreciate that question. I think you're right. Everyone at some point in life will have something that they deal with. My husband says it all the time, like no one gets out of this life with nothing, right? Like everyone ends up with some sort of ailment at some point. So in 2021, I was diagnosed with an extremely rare autoimmune disease called relapsing polychondritis. There's really no studies that have been done on relapsing polychondritis except for clinical case studies. It's an autoimmune disease where your body essentially eats the cartilage. So it tends to attack your eyes, your nose, your heart, any place you might think of cartilage. Mine started with my ear. I, in fact, have a portion of inside my ear that is completely gone because of the relapsing polychondritis. And I lost 40% of my hearing during that time. I went to every doctor under the sun to figure out what was going on until I ended up seeing a rheumatologist that diagnosed me with relapsing polychondritis. During that time, like my blood levels were all over the place. My body was just completely fighting it like crazy. In fact, I was sitting in the Regents Hospital Cancer Center where I live because they thought I had bone marrow cancer. It was the worst time of my life. And coming from someone who I lost my father to suicide, I have been through so much in my life, and this definitely weighed on me really heavy, not just because of my love for track, but because I also have 3 kids and a husband that I am here and want to care for. I want to provide for and take care of and be a great mom. And I felt completely outside of my body. Even at that time, I was on high dosage of prednisone. I was taking chemotherapy medication. And finally, about a year and a half ago, I stopped chemotherapy and I got COVID, which actually oddly took away the symptoms of my relapsing polychondritis. Very weird. I know. It doesn't even make sense. My doctor said I am like an outlier and he wants to study me and figure out why and how and all those things. So I've been again off the medicine for a year and a half and I'm starting to feel good. My times are finally starting to come down, starting to lose weight from all the medicine that I was on. And I think I'm going in a good trajectory now.
Just kind of maybe fill us in a little bit more on where you think you're at. Is this something you've got to monitor over time here? Or do you think you're in, full remission? I mean, obviously anything can ever come back, but kind of give us an idea where you're at there.
Yeah, so really challenging, right? Because there's not a lot of information available on it because it is such a very rare disease. And my ancestry, it's not a disease that's common in my bloodline either. So it's extremely rare that I had it and whatever, all the things that came along with it. But there is definitely a chance that it could come back. I'm hoping that it never does. I was experiencing some pain similar to what I had in 2021. I had pain just in my inner ear. I am seeing an ENT in the next couple of weeks and hoping that it's just perhaps cartilage regrowing. So they did say that your cartilage will regrow. And I'm just, again, hopeful that that's what I'm experiencing. It is in remission. Things are great. But again, I think I just keep an open mind that it could potentially come back at least I know we did things that helped it. Like the prednisone helped. It stopped the inflammation in my body. The chemotherapy injections were helpful. My husband did my injections weekly and we were able to do it from home. So it's nice that I didn't have to go anywhere for that. But just keeping, again, a positive mindset, I think is definitely the best thing that I can do. I've experienced health conditions with other family members. And I think at the end of the day, we have no control over some things that happen and we have to stay positive and try to fight through whatever cards were dealt.
Let's transition into some fun stuff here and tell us a little bit about some of the successes that you have had lately, some times, some awards, those types of things.
Yeah, so thanks for asking. First, I have to mention my children first because they are incredible athletes as well. Both of my girls made it to the Junior Olympics last year. They are sprinters. My oldest daughter is 13. She's an 8th grader and runs high school varsity track. She is just incredible. And then my 8-year-old is also incredible, a 100 and 200 meter runner, and is really vying to beat her sister, who is significantly older, but she is quick. I am pretty much worried, like my eighth grader will probably get me in like another year or two. And I think my 8-year-old, by the time she is like 10, I think she's going to be faster than me. So they're incredible. And then for me, I was awarded 2023 Minnesota USATF Athlete of the Year, which is really great. I have gone to nationals since 2021, which is the year I had relapsing polychondritis and didn't have great times in Iowa, and then transitioned to 2022. I won the 400 meter dash and then placed, I think I placed second in the 60. And then we had someone that was DQ'd in the 200. So I came in second and then inevitably won because of the DQ. And then 2023 outdoor last year, I was second in the 100, the 200, and then just this last indoor season in Chicago, national champion in the 60 meter dash with a time of 7.87.
And it is Amanda O'Connor in 7.87.
And was part of a 4x2 world record relay team. So I ran with some incredible girls. Like most of them are my competition, right? And they are incredibly fast women, but we had such a great time. A minute and 41 seconds. I can't remember the tenths or anything like that, but a minute and 41 seconds broke the world record, and I'm hoping to link up with the same crew for outdoors to try to capture an outdoor world record as well. I just had my opener this about a week and a half ago, I ran at a college meet outdoor. I had my fastest opening times that I've ever had. So I ran a 12.44 in the 100 and a 26.09 in the 200. So excited to go sub 26, looking for my 25 this year. And, you know, I ran a 25.5 in high school, I think 11.9 or 11.8 in the 100, which was not, it was handheld time. So I think like a 12.2 or 12.3. So I know I'm right there with those high school times, and just hoping, you know, with those really great openers that I'm able to get back down to sub, you know, those sub 26s.
So you're having great success right now. We want to know how you're doing it so we can copy it. So
Okay.
tell us a little bit about your training routine, both on the track, off the track, maybe even in season versus off season. Just kind of give us the whole scope of how you've gotten yourself from, you know, an illness to being, you know, national champion and world record holder.
Well, I guess it does not hurt that my coach is a 4x4 Olympic champion. He is a head coach at a university close to my house. And so he has graciously agreed to coach me. So after the outdoor season, I took 4 weeks off and then started really getting back into things in the beginning of September. 2 or 3 days a week of lifting, heavy lifting starting in September, and then 4 days of running. Nothing fast, right? Just really slowly work myself up into the competition season, where December I start my indoor meets. Minnesota, the USATF organization in Minnesota offers so many opportunities for athletes to run in all-comer meets. There were 8 all-comer meets in Minnesota this year, so those begin in December. But throughout this season, it tends to be the same. I have 4 days of sprint training. So whether it's speed or endurance training, and then I have those 3 days of heavy lifting, and I do 1 day of an active recovery. Tends to be Sunday. Sunday off happens to be my cheat meal and eat whatever I want day 2. So I'm lazy that day. I don't do anything. I eat whatever I want. And then 6 days a week follow a really strict Mediterranean diet plan. So lots of fruits and vegetables and healthy fats and lean proteins and fish and things of that nature. But the cycle will stop again here at the end of July, and then I'll take 4 weeks off. And then during those 4 weeks off, I do lift really heavy as well. And I tend to lift heavy until 2 or 3 weeks prior to a national competition, where I lighten the load a little bit.
You're lifting heavy for track. You also mentioned earlier that you did some bodybuilding. Give us a little more specifics when you're talking about your lifting. You know, is it more focused on legs? Is it overall body? And you know, what kind of repetitions are you using? And you know, just tell us, when you say heavy, what are you doing?
Lifting for bodybuilding is very different than lifting for track and field. So bodybuilding was really focused on your physique. So you had the symmetry where your shoulders and your bottom half sort of, you know, match up, and then your waist is tiny. It was definitely challenging during that time because you are lifting heavy, but you're so calorie restricted that was sometimes very challenging. And then cardio, of course, in bodybuilding was different. It was steady state cardio or maybe some HIIT training, but again, very different. And training for track and field or lifting for track and field, again, is front squats, clean and jerk, some Olympic lifting, snatches, clean and jerk, and then doing deadlifts and things of that nature. So my max is 225 pounds for front squat times 2. So I don't know what my single would have been. But yeah, so typically it's somewhere now, if I'm lifting for a set of 5 or 6, I'm around 180 pounds front squat. And then single leg RDLs, really, really focused on making sure that I'm slowing my body down and working on, again, just keeping everything intact, right? Those types of activities are really great for speed. What other lifts? To do Bosch cleans, which I don't know if anyone are familiar with that exercise, but it's like a clean with dumbbells and you're driving your knee up. So really it helps to replicate how you would come out of a block. So those Bosch cleans, super helpful on the force and extension and driving from your blocks. So I do have a strength coach that I hired as well. So I do meet with him one day in person and then do 2 additional lifting days at home. But if you think of Olympic style lifting, that's definitely in my repertoire.
Well, let's head out to the track. Give us your go-to speed workout.
Today I did my favorite workout. So I did 3 sets of 3 times 80. So 80 meters at about 85%, 90%, take a minute and a half to recover. Do that again, another minute and a half to recover, followed by the last, a 3-minute recovery, and then do that again 2 more times. It's my favorite speed workout. I love it. I'm just definitely a fan. I've also started to like blocks. So I actually really love the day before a track meet, not because the workout is super easy, but because I love getting out of a block. I love practicing it. It is something that I have worked so hard on. And it's finally the area where I have seen so much improvement. My block start is definitely the only reason I won nationals this last year in Chicago.
Mention something about Sundays, kind of eating what you want. What's your go-to cheat meal or dessert?
Oh man. So that's such a great question. And I get so excited. So every Sunday, my husband and I do date night. And so every Sunday we have been going and getting the same food, which happens to be a Mexican restaurant by our house called El Sombrero. And it is so good. Their steak fajitas are life, and everyone needs to have those. Or we are a big fan of pizza. So it would be one of those 2 options. And dessert is really just like gummy candy. I mean, who at almost 40 considers that a dessert? I do, because gummy candy is life.
What keeps you motivated at this point? And then kind of walk us through your schedule. How do you make this happen in that time of life when you're still driving towards everything, not in the retired state like some of us are?
I started a business as well called myproteinbox.com, which is a subscription service to protein pack snacks. So that was a common question in bodybuilding. What do you eat? How do you get your adequate protein in? What's the timing of your meals? All of those questions. So I started the business really as a means to help educate and promote a different way of eating for people and promoting health and again, adequate protein. I think a lot of women don't get enough protein into their diet. So that's something that I wanted to do. And it has been so fun. I've been in business since 2019. Not as successful as I wanted to be, and hoping to quit my full-time career to replace it with that income. But nonetheless, it has been fun. I typically wake up really early in the morning and I stretch. My body, as I am getting older, as you all know, like it's a pain. I'm in pain in the morning. I hurt. So I wake up and I stretch, and of course have my water and coffee, and I get my kids ready for the day. My husband does too. He is such a great help. He's getting his PhD right now and he's working full time. So we are extremely busy. So we have a really strict routine. We get the kids off to school, and typically I've been really lucky where meetings are not starting till 9:30. So I right away in the morning get to the track. There's an indoor facility right by my house where I run. It's a full indoor 200-meter track. I go there and train, come home, jump on meetings, and then after meetings, it's getting kids off of the bus, getting kids from school. It's getting a daughter to track practice and picking her up in dinner or a track meet, and, wash, rinse, repeat. I think all athletes tend to be routine oriented people, and routine for me is crucial considering how busy our lives are right now. Sometimes if I do have those 8 a.m. meetings after I get the kids off to school, I come home and then I'll go over my lunch break. But I do love to get it done right away in the morning if I can. And then on days where I have a double, I try to get to the track in the morning, and then at night after the kids go to bed is when I would get my lifting in.
Could bottle what I call your secret sauce, what would the recipe be so that the rest of us can be as productive as Amanda?
I would say my secret sauce is literally write it out. So if you have a set plan and you are focused on writing it out, your brain is going to remember. Like I was told write it out 10 times, but I write out my agenda the night before, what I need to do. And then my secret sauce, besides keeping a strict timeline of everything in life would be that Mediterranean diet. I'm almost 40. Nothing has changed so significantly in my life. If anything, I'm busier and more stressed out between work and my husband's PhD program. My diet is the only thing that I could explain why I opened with the fastest time of my life, faster than school, faster than college, and again, almost 40. So Mediterranean diet, secret sauce.
Sounds good. We're going to have some fun for just a second here and ask a few quirky things just to find out a little bit more about what's going on inside your head.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start off with a simple one. What's your favorite color?
Yellow.
All right. Any particular reason?
Oh, it's so bright. It's fun. Yellow is like happy. It's energy. To me, it's a sun. It's warmth. It's happy.
How about your go-to song and or artist when you need to get jacked up and pumped up for the heavy weight routine or track workout?
I am definitely guilty of listening to Kanye West right now, All of the Lights, which is an old song. There's something about it that pumps me up. And Mary J. Blige, just fine.
If you're going to a movie, is it action, thriller, or comedy?
It is anything zombie apocalypse related because I got my whole zombie apocalypse strategy. It's all set up. My husband did not agree with my strategy last night though, and I was kind of disappointed in him.
If you had to learn an instrument, would it be guitar, drums, or keyboard?
Guitar, drums, or keyboard. I'm gonna go with drums because I could like tune out when my kids are yelling or there's too much distraction. I would just add to it. Just add to the chaos.
Favorite shoe wear? Spikes, trainers, or sandals?
Can I say Louboutins?
I don't know what those are, but sure, you can say whatever you want.
They are heels, like red bottom heels. Fancy. I like dressing up, wearing dresses and wearing heels.
Amanda, thanks so much for joining us today and letting us know what makes you an Autumn athlete that's not done yet. I'd like to finish up by giving you the floor to give our audience some final thoughts.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate being here. I guess my final thoughts is that do not let a roadblock deter you from your end goal because we will get detours along the way. Sometimes we can see them as setbacks or an opportunity to reset and start over. And I think that's what I did in my life story. And again, roadblocks are not permanently, hey, you can't keep going forward. It's just maybe there to help you design a new plan.
Well, there you go, folks. Amanda O'Connor. She is definitely an Autumn athlete that's not done yet. Remember, keep moving, set your own goals, and train hard to achieve them. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.
Bye.